The funerals had barely begun when there was more terror. This was Nabatea, in the south of the country, yet more panic. This time at the funeral of those killed in the string of pager explosions less than 24 hours earlier. In Beirut, too, the Lebanese army was on standby as 4 funerals were held, for 2 Hezbollah fighters, but also for a young boy and a medic. Thousands had gathered in the capital, including women and children, when it became apparent Lebanon was facing a second wave of attacks. It quickly emerged there were fresh methods being deployed. Witnesses said radios in cars appeared to blow and nearby vehicles were hastily driven away. Others posted on social media about how their 2-way radios had exploded. It was the battery, he's saying. Alarm quickly spread as those who'd had narrow escapes were enveloped in shock. And this is a collective countrywide shock. But there's also fear now about all electronic devices and those like us who are using them.
There's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of tension. Apparently 2 walkie-talkies have exploded. That man says it exploded just next to him. There's a lot of fear amongst here, especially about cameras, phones, anything.
The funerals went on as Israeli drones circled above, to the astonishment of the mourners. The numbers quickly exceeded the previous day's death toll. There were multiple explosions, not just in Beirut, but in several towns across the country. Vehicles set alight, homes burned, and shops filled with choking smoke. Wherever they are, the Lebanese people are beginning to feel there are few safe places. 90 hospitals are on emergency alert and already packed with thousands of casualties after the spate of pager explosions, many with catastrophic facial and eye injuries. The surgeons have been working non-stop to try to save limbs or eyesight, often knowing they cannot succeed.
It's a massacre, it's a crime, isn't it? Or it had different description. The one who did it is a criminal. Is more than criminal, is a monster.
Hezbollah is a designated terror group by the US and UK, but the Lebanese government's furious at the string of indiscriminate attacks in public places which have harmed so many.
I mean, this is an act of aggression against non-combatants, community people. Even if some of them are combatants, but this is a non-discriminatory act of attack. And I think that, the use of this non-discriminatory force or attacks, which clearly will affect civilians, is something, in my mind, is something against international humanitarian law.
As Lebanon was coping with a second day of widespread emergencies, most were blaming their Israeli neighbor. Israel's leaders have not referred at all to the device explosions, but the Prime Minister has long made clear his desire to rid his northern border of the Hezbollah threat.
I've said before, we'll return the residents of the north securely to their homes, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
His defense minister declared a new phase of the war.
The centre of gravity is moving north, so we're diverting forces, resources and energy to the north. We haven't forgotten our hostages or Gaza, but we're performing this duty at the same time.
Hezbollah has vowed revenge, but so far the powerful fighting group backed by Iran appears to be outpaced by events. Fear is spreading, casualties are rising, and the Gaza ceasefire they've linked their attacks against Israel to is still as far away as ever. Alex Crawford, Sky News, Beirut.